Season number 9 started off in aggressive fashion. We spent 148 million in the market, including new fullback Jose Chavez, new German striker Faruk Oskaya for 35 million, and Marko Mamadovic for 65 million from Bayer Leverkusen. All this was to strengthen the squad and push for that title. Unfortunately, we did lose one big player in Luis Zarate for a release clause of 80 million to Man City, but we also lost Mamadashvili for his release clause to Napoli, and sadly we lost Parisi, who left to West Ham for 31.5 million. Well, as you can see, for the start of season number 9 for the Wolfsburg save, it has been a bit of an eventful transfer window to say the least. I'm absolutely and utterly gutted we've lost Zarate to Man City, but the plus side of it is it did mean we could bring in a ton load of money to go out and buy some more squad players to strengthen the squad out a little bit. As I say, on here now, as a squad count, we have 24. So, extremely competitive, and I think a good challenging squad. We have a good blend of youth and experience in here now, because when we look at the age profile, the vast amount of youngsters are all like sort of 5-star potential but learning. But the other guys, there are a couple of... I think actually Maximilian Bayer being a 3-star is a little bit harsh. I think he should be a 4-star. Pacha, Kone being the oldest, and they're the most experienced ones, along with Bayer and Varanks. But I think the squad's looking all right. It's looking okay, and we need to have a decent, strong squad in the last 2 seasons to challenge for the Bundesliga title at least. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. So, as I said at the start of the video, transfer budget-wise, I still got 98 million. I could have spent more, but I didn't want to upset the balance of the squad too much, because when I look at like sort of the players that I've brought in, I've already brought in 7 players. That's a lot of money to spend. A hell of a lot of money to spend. 150 million in total. And also whether players actually wanted to come to Wolfsburg or not. That was another big thing. But yeah, losing this guy, Luis Zarate, what a centre-back he was for us. But actually, though, saying that, he didn't hit an average rating over 7 in his first 2 seasons, but we did make a hell of an amount of profit from him. So that I definitely can't be annoyed at, so to speak, because it's put off financially wise. Wolfsburg now are sitting absolutely pretty. 212 million, no debts or anything like that, so it's all good. And if we have a look at the starting schedule to the season, I've not played any games yet. I've got Bayern Munich in the Super Cup, and then Bayern Munich again a couple of weeks later along with Leipzig. This is a tough start to the season, and it's going to show how far we have come or not. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to roll the highlights reel for season number 9. Come and join me for that, and I'll see you guys in a few seconds. Norberto Rey was our shining light of season 9, helping us to wins in the league like a 3-0 versus Cologne, a 5-2 versus Regensburg, a 3-0 versus St. Pauli, and even a 1-0 versus Bayern Munich. A 6-0 versus St. Etienne and a 3-0 versus Fenerbahce helped us in Europe, but again it was an early exit at the hands of Juventus. Sadly, the second half of the season in the league didn't go to plan, with too many draws and losses, but again the Pokal was our saviour. Eliminating Dortmund 2-0, Mainz on penalties after a 3-all draw and Manu Kone being sent off, we reach another final and dispatch RB Leipzig 2-1 to get our hands on our 3rd DFB Pokal trophy. Well, all I can say is that is utterly terrible. I say terrible, I'm probably being a little bit too harsh here, because Bayern Munich and Dortmund were a class above this season. But even still, after finishing last season joint top and only missing out on the title on goal difference, and then okay, losing 1-star centre-back, but then replacing it with 7 players, did I disrupt the club too much? I mean, look at our league position form. If I go and have a look at the league table actually, and then have a look at the past positions, then have a look at us. Our form was all over the place for the first half of the season. We got a little bit more consistent towards the end, and we did actually push second place for a little bit. But again, nowhere near good enough. And it is so frustrating to me that we can't seem to nail this league down. And I don't know why. But I don't particularly want to change the formation either, because I'm pretty bored of just doing a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. I'm trying to try something different here, but obviously I'm not quite nailing it. I don't know why. I keep on tweaking the tactics here and there, and I just don't know why it's not working. I can't figure it out. Obviously, the bonus side of things was that we did get the beautiful golden trophy of the Pokal again, which means we are now double winners of that 3 times in this save, along with the Europa League and the Conference League. I think that's pretty good. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. If we're going to have a quick check of the squad, wise, I think goals-wise, actually really, really good. 12 for Onyang Buli, 25 from Maximilian Bayer, and 27 from Norberto Ray with 12 assists. It's pretty darn impressive. I'm very happy with that. But what I'm not happy with, if we have a look at my defenders' average ratings, all below a 7. Bar, Karaman, and Wentz. Wentz had a brilliant season, actually, to be fair. 13 assists, he's improved. I'm quite happy with that. But as for the centre-backs and DMs, midfielders, not playing anywhere near good enough to propel us and actually get us that Bundesliga shield. Well, I'm going to roll it on into Season 10 and get this finished off. But before I do, please don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you have enjoyed this series, and go and check out the other series I've got. I'm trying a little bit of a different format here in condensing down 2 seasons into 1 episode. Let me know in the comments down below if you prefer this format, if I should stick with the other format. I'm just playing around with ideas at the moment, so let me know what you think works best, and I'll try and tailor things to that and how you as the audience like to see what is going on. But without further ado, let's go and roll into season number 10 and find out what the hell is going on. In our final season, we pulled out all the stops and went big in the market, bringing in English centre-back Lewis Herbert, a great talent, for £9.5 million. Then we spent big on Ignacio Vaz from Leipzig, a striker with a lot of talent, and for £72 million. And phenomenal Chilean centre midfielder Jason Goules from Newcastle for £75 million. Wow. We did have one gut-wrenching sale, and that was, sadly, our South American superstar Norberto Ray, who went to Chelsea for £100 million, and I am absolutely gutted by that. There were a few other departures, however. Denso Cassius, Luis Halles, and a few other youngsters also left for nominal fees. Well, here we are on Season 10, and Season 10 has started off pretty much like Season 9 did in the transfer market. You lost one big player, I brought in a couple of large fee, what I consider to be really, really massive players, who I'm hoping will actually do the business for us this season. I'll come to Goules in a second. Ignacio Vaz, I swear to God, on my other saves, I've bought this guy before, but with a different name, because he looks very, very similar to Uruguayan winger/striker, but he is incredibly good. And the fact that Leipzig were happy to let him go after a few seasons and not really playing him, 25 starts there, 21 there. He's 2-4, but that's the cup games, so it's a little bit different. But this guy, I think, has the potential, especially with that pace and power, to really do some damage in the league this season, so I'm putting a lot of hopes on him, as well as Jason Goules. He is phenomenal. 21-year-old Chilean centre midfielder, attacker midfielder, could actually play as a shadow striker with 16 finishing, which is nuts. I've never seen that on a centre midfielder having finishing like that. I think this guy could be good, but I'm not pinging him in, because I think he will actually start ahead of the likes of Ranks. But I am putting in Vaz, Azkaya, and Holub and Bleibtreu. I'm actually putting 4 players in to hopefully nail this title in the final season. I'm really hoping that this works. I've changed the system around a little bit. I've changed it to a box-to-box midfielder. I've put an anchor in there instead of a ball-winning midfielder, just to try and shore up the defence a little bit. And these two are going to be phenomenal strikers. Bayer's been dropped. These two are going to be brilliant. I know that. But how's Season 10 going to go? Are we going to win the Champions League? Are we going to win the Bundesliga? Let's go and find out what happens. Fingers crossed for the final season. I'll see you guys in a few seconds. Losing Ray at the start of the season was without a doubt a massive effect on our team. After beating Dortmund 3-0 in the Super Cup and beating Hertha Berlin 3-0 at the start of the season, I was confident this could be our year. I was wrong. The 2-0 win versus Mainz was offset with a loss against Bremen. A 3-0 win versus Hoffenheim was ruined by a 1-0 loss to Heidenheim. Consistency was again our nemesis, and that was more evident in Europe. After qualifying for the knockouts, we beat Spurs 3-0 in the first leg at home, only to lose the second leg at their ground 4-0. What is going on? Weirdly, the Pokal again was our saviour. Early wins against Vilsing 7-0, Schalke 2-1, and Borussia Dortmund 2-1 led to us beating Hanover 3-1 and Cologne in the semi-finals 3-0, which gave us a final again against Nuremberg, who we comfortably beat 4-0 and claimed a hat-trick of DFB Pokals and 4 Pokals in total. Well, this is my unimpressed face. 10 seasons at Wolfsburg and couldn't win one sodding Bundesliga title.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
I'm so annoyed at that. I'm annoyed at myself because I couldn't do it, and I'm annoyed for you guys because you couldn't see me do it. But that's not to say I'm totally disappointed with the save. We did perform pretty well, but again, we had a blip like Season 9. Let's have a look at the pass positions again. Yeah, a blip around like sort of the start of the season where we just couldn't seem to get going, and then we got some consistency and ended up qualifying for the Champions League spot. But even still, it's not good enough. It's nowhere near good enough. If we have a look at the goals, okay, we got the goals from Vaz, Bayer and Ozkaya, which is weird. I expected more from that. But again, looking at the overall average ratings down here for what is predominantly my defenders and my central midfielders, nowhere near good enough. The only other thing I can think of that hasn't worked is my assistant manager, who was obviously in charge of everything, but he, maybe a cautious mentality, his people management maybe, his motivate, that I never actually realised. I've used D'Agostino before on these saves, and he's been alright, but I'd never, motivating, if you got an assistant manager, motivating is one of the key assets. I completely missed it when I got this guy in. Motivating is one of the key assets for your assistant manager when he's on the touchline. It really, really does help. But we have won a hat-trick, back-to-back DFB Pokals, plus a German Super Cup, so that's another little bit of silverware. Not counting it too much, at the end of the day, it's just a charity shield, so to speak. But still, it's another bit of silverware. But 4 Pokals, a Europa League, a Europa Conference League. So all in all, 7 trophies, I think that is in total. Let's have a look at my profile. Sorry, 9. 9 trophies over the 10 seasons. 9 trophies over the 10 seasons. Financial stability, constantly qualifying for the Champions League and coming close in one season to winning the Bundesliga. Overall, I don't think that's too bad. I think it could have been better. Yes, obviously, winning the Bundesliga. But I think overall, of the 10 years, to stabilise the club, and that was the target, because in real life, they've been awful. But on here, I've managed to turn it around. So I'm quite happy with that. But here endeth this series. If you did like this, please do leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with more series. I've still got my Retro Glory Hunter running. I've got an Ajax Youth to Gold on a 94-95 retro database that'll be coming along soon. and a few other random videos just to fill in the gaps until FM25 comes along. I understand that there is a bit of FM24 fatigue, and it is proving very hard for us content creators to come up with new content around this game whilst we wait for the new one to come out. Fingers crossed that won't be too long. But thank you very much for watching. Join me next time, guys, and come and check out all the other videos. I'll see you later. Ta-ra.